this is for Chuan Shin. Um, Alright, so the first thing I would say right off the bat is I would say right off the bat, I would tell you that you really want to take a look at the levels of your drawing. And so what I mean by that is the simple fact that there is no real tonal value here. So because if you look, let me go here. So the darkest area you have is probably about 75%, and the lightest area is about 25%. So which is okay, but to get a fuller range, what you want to do is increase your levels. Um, so I would say let's darken. Now, let's see here. See if we can get some darker. Oops. It would actually help to be on the right layer. Alright, let's try this. Okay, so I would darken it, and I would say get your darks in there at least about this bright. That's kind of how I would tell you to go about that. Now, the other aspect is that you have the, I think the facial features are a little bit off. And so what I mean by that, and you're looking at this, I'm just looking at your reference here. And I would say yours is something like that, according to the reference. So the first thing that I see right off the bat is I would tell you that you really want to pay attention to kind of where the positions of the mouth are. So just looking at this, I would say that the mouth coming straight down should be moved just a hair bit over. And so something like this, because the mouth looks just a little bit off-centered. And then the next thing that I would tell you to do is, so let's just grab the mouth here, and I would just transform it just a hair over a little bit, something like that. Not much, but that being said, then I would make sure that you've got your definition in there. With the eyes as dark as they are, you also want to get the hard angles in there. Especially by the nose, that's going to give you that crease around the nose. And it doesn't even have to be that dark, it just has to be enough to kind of push out that nose. There's a lot more definition under the nose too, specifically in the cleft of the palate here, and then watch the ridge around here. So there's just going to be a highlight that's exaggerated, and then watch this here. This is actually more over because the mouth is starting to wrap around, and then from there you can actually get a little bit of darkness in the cleft of the chin too. Watch her face too. I think her face is a little bit too squat, too short. And so what I would say right off the bat is, just looking at the reference, I would say the reference comes down here like so, bulges out a little bit more into the cheek, and then it comes down and clefts around the mouth a little bit more, and then it comes and a little bit, now it's a little bit more angular than I would say to go, but the idea is you want to get that around her chin. I think just it's a little bit, the face is a little bit too squat. So the other aspect is you want to kind of narrow the mouth a little bit. I think the mouth is a little bit too wide. And let's just kind of do this, and then don't be afraid to get real dark into the center of the eye. The ear feels a little bit too high. I would lower the ear a little bit, probably around here, and then yeah, and I'd move the ear down, and then don't be afraid to get in your darks that you need in the ear. Define that a little bit more. Something like that. I'm just going to quickly rough that in there. And then that's going to actually lower her hair, like so, and give you the darks that you want to go for in here. Now, especially here, get a harder line in here. And because that's, I think, the key to the silhouette. I mean, if that's going to be a hard line, I would say that's the one that you want to do right there, is that neck. And then that's going to give you a nicer, cleaner, crisper edge. The hair blending out is fine, but again, go darker to lighter in the hair. And watch her shoulder too. Looking at this, the way that this is, the shoulder is, I think, a little bit more up this way, and then it kind of rounds down, and then you've got the blacks here, and then the lights just kind of around the key points of the shoulder. So I would push that shoulder out, and then I would push in a little bit more of the indentation here, and then this is where you can start fading these out and getting that hair in there. So I think those are things that you really want to look at, and I'm just kind of roughing this out here. And then use the hard edge, which is this is right here. Use that hard edge of that shadow to start drawing back the chin, and that's going to give you a little bit more definition in the chin itself. Things like that, and I think that's going to tighten it up a little bit. Watch this eyebrow. The eyebrow, I think, goes up a little bit more, so the eyebrow is up here a little bit more, and that actually kind of creates this shelf where it's dark underneath and then light on top. Actually, it's pretty dark all the way around, so you want that shelf. And I would almost say move up the eye just a hair. Just something like this. I would get that eye in there, and then you don't want to go too dark in here because it's going to create age, but you want to get that definition because the shadow is popping out, and I think the nose is going to pop out a little bit more with that change. And then be sure to get the darks on the outer, on the skull socket here. It turns out a little bit dark here and then fades out. It's very subtle, and you can see it very much in the picture, and that's going to give you, it's those types of things that are going to give you much more interest. Also, don't be afraid to go darker under the underside of the lips here. Just looking at this, popping that lip out is going to give you kind of the texture that you want. And then like so. And I think the mouth again needs to be a little bit, it's almost a little bit narrower, so I'd almost cut it down. Oops. You know, so again, it's tweaking. It's, if you want to get that likeness down, you want to get those subtle things, especially in the nose, where the nose has got a little bit of not of a downturn, but more of a upturn. And actually, the nose on the bottom here is a little bit darker than what you have it. So you want to build all that information out. All right? I hope that helps.